we've got to have some reason for existing. Right? That's the one, and
Yes.
everybody has a purpose. And so it's becomes, that's the Gleischer's formula for change, right? You're in enough
Yes.
pain, you have a vision, and you can see some steps to take.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what gets people propelled forward, even against all odds, or
Yes.
when it's something is so inexplicable.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I think the biggest thing that holds people back, and I know it held me back for many years, Christine, is comparison. When we start to compare ourselves to other people's success, and, we have no idea what they've been through. They're like, I mean, like not everyone understands what anyone's been through, and everyone has their own unique journey in life. And I think the biggest thing I think that holds people back from achieving anything is comparison, and thinking I just don't have what it takes, or I'm not like them. But I think that's why more and more people need to share their real story, not the end goal, but the real journey of what they've achieved.
100%, and that's, being willing to admit the mistakes, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
there I was, that moment of recognizing I would put myself in a position where I was trapped. I had no plan, no way of getting out, no way to call anybody. And
Yes.
it was, what can I learn from this experience? As the voice in my head said, how can I make something out of this moment, because I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And then from that moment on, to share that journey with people so that everyone understands. We've all been in that place where I put myself into something I can't get out of.
That's right. And sometimes we need to do that. And I think it really shows our true character. And we really built, like, when I got that job with Steve, taking over Steve Irwin's role, I was in panic. I had core terror, and I was in panic for 3 or 4 days before I had to step into the arena with those snakes. And that was a defining moment. I had, as a young child, I had a very venomous snake nearly bite me as a 5-year-old. So I had a 25-year belief system and story running through me until the universe provided me with a beautiful opportunity to overcome that. And part of me was like, I cannot do this. I'm not meant to take over Steve's role in the Crocoseum. I'm not meant to do this. But I could have easily talked myself out of it. But to be honest, I was like, well, how can I let, this legend, this man who had left such a legacy, and it was literally 3 months after he passed away. So everybody was shaken up at their core from the passing of Steve Irwin. And to be honest, I think, spiritually, I think he was there right by my side, cheering me on to overcome a 25-year fear or phobia of snakes, to then go on and handle some of the deadliest snakes known to mankind and become a certified venomous snake handler. So I think he was there right there. But
well, I don't doubt you for a second. And, I'm also thinking the bravery, forget the phobia, stepping into the shoes of a national treasure like that.
Yeah.
And also subjecting yourself to the, varied opinions of the webosphere, that people have. That in itself is an act of bravery. And it's those things that may have seemed like on the outside, well, great opportunity. On the inside, it can be, oh my gosh, how can I live up to this? This is a terrible loss. The whole nation, the world has suffered.
That's right.
I'm going to step into those shoes. Yeah. That's a level of courage that to me surpasses even the snake phobia.
Well, I think that's the thing. I could, like, in my heart, I just said, I cannot let this man down. This man has left an enormous imprint on this planet. I mean, how could I not do that? It wasn't even, it was, even if even though I was absolutely terrified, I couldn't sleep for days. For days, I was in core terror. Because I had this fear of a snake biting me, but yes, and the shoes of Steve Irwin. That's a whole nother level. So I think I was just compacted, on so many different levels, that I felt like I had to follow through on it. And but once I broke through that, Steve Irwin's right-hand woman, who was the curator of Australia Zoo, she personally coached me through my phobia of snakes. So I had probably one of the most experienced snake handlers on the planet coaching me. So I wasn't like, oh, I'll just pick up a snake. I actually had Steve Irwin's, most trusted reptile handler coaching me through that process. So I was very fortunate to have that.
Well, and that's the message that I have in my book is, blaze a trail just like you have, but don't go it alone, right?
No.
And it's a hard one because we're not inclined to ask for help very often. And so as a person who gives so much, you have it, perhaps more naturally, but it wasn't always the case, right? There was points at which you had to decide, I can't do this alone.
No. And that's the thing, I think, and I think I know for myself, especially my challenges in my early part of my life, and then, through my late teenage, early 20s, I felt a level of weakness. I felt it was weak to ask for help, and that I had to figure it out. And until I realized that that's not getting me anywhere, and then, asking for help and getting support, that's strength in that alone, and admitting to yourself that you can't do it alone and you can't do everything alone. And if you want any success or achieve any greatness in life, you've got to have the right team and the right mentors. And sometimes we can pick the wrong ones, but then there's lessons in that too. So absolutely, I think everyone needs to ask for help and get the right help, no matter what area they're in life, that they need the help in. And people are prepared to support you through that. As long as you show up and you do the work and you show that you're committed to change, then people are more than willing to help you.
Well, and that's the thing, right, is that generally people want to be helpful. And we honor them, in even asking. And I remember when I was getting my boat captain's license, and it was such a struggle. There's so many hoops to jump through. And I thought, I'm so in over my head. I wish that I had a really good friend who was a very high level captain. And I thought, I wish I had his help. And, years later, after I'd gotten my license and gone through all of that, he said, I thought you wanted to do it on your own to prove you could, to prove something. I'm like, oh my God, where was I giving off?
Yeah.
I wanted nothing more than to have his help. But somehow, it was a coat of armor that I was wearing that made
that's
that.
Right.
Yeah. And so, we have to let that armor go and recognize the goodness of people is they will be there for you.
Yeah. And I think and there's some, and just to admit to yourself and other people that we don't have all the answers, no, who does really,
Right.
Nobody knows everything, I believe that, I'm a strong believer in, I love delegating. I love asking for help now. And, sometimes with the kids, it's a little bit of a struggle, because you're trying to be a mom and run a business and all sorts of things. But I think, one of the lessons that my kids have taught me is that, yes, you need help. You cannot raise kids, run a business and do everything yourself without burning out.
Right. Well, it truly takes a village, right? And why would we want to be all things to our children? Because there are lots of life lessons to gain from other people having an impact on their lives.
Exactly.
But it's easier again, it's like it's easy for any of us to be of service to others, right? And really what I found is that was the segue for me to get help that I needed. Other than getting the rescue in the outset, it was now I'm alone, I'm trapped, I'm isolated from my friends, I have no way of getting, anything or anyone. And I have to start somewhere. And that's okay, so I can't pick up the phone and ask for help, but I can offer help. And I advise people, if you want to have someone who will come for you in the storm, be that for someone else.
Yeah, exactly. So I think with especially with what you've been through yourself in your journey, and for myself, we have an obligation to, show people that this is the real journey, and and be that shining light for somebody else and giving them hope that no matter what, and especially in these difficult, challenging times, is there's a way out of this. There's better things on the other side. And one of my favorite quotes from my book, The Courage to Shine, is nothing spectacular happens inside your comfort zone. And the magic lies when you break through that and you are put under pressure and you're put under, uncomfortable situations, that you have to find a way. And that's where your resilience comes from, is having you're being in that pressure cooker and then going, okay, what do I do here now? And when you work through that and you break through that, that's where the confidence comes from, to then go, you know what, I've survived that, I've gone through that, I can now do this, and be that hope for somebody else.
Well, amen, right? One would never know, and I've seen your work. It's magnificent. And the 3-part video conference secrets, that confidence secrets that you are offering, that's going to be in our show notes, so people can click through and sign up for that. It's free. It's wonderful. Natasha makes it seem possible. That's how I describe it.
Oh, thank you. Well, I figured, that's what part of the journey is, for myself, who struggled with dyslexia in high school, couldn't read out loud. If I could then go on to master this skill, then anyone can. Anyone can do this. And I believe that just with the right coaching and help, and someone like myself who's overcome the fear of speaking and not being able to read out loud, to then create a career from that, then anyone can do this. They just require the right help and coaching, and that's what I'd like to be for people. And that 3-part video series, it gives people, some really great practical tips, so they can, hey, if they're struggling or have a fear of getting on video for any reason, FaceTime, their business, whatever, then it gives them some good confidence tips to get started and put themselves out there.
Well, and if they sign up for that, will they have access to your online courses? You've got a couple things going on.
Yeah. So with our paid courses, I have a Facebook Live Mastery course, and also a Be a Superstar program, which is 2 online courses that I normally sell for $1,000, or just over $1,000 together, and that basically gives you everything you need to do Facebook Lives, to be camera ready, from lighting to sound to hair to makeup to styling to your delivery to your messaging, how to craft your structure of your videos, pretty much everything you need to be a pro on video. So those retail from my website at $1,000 for both of them. But if anyone wants to do those as a special gift for being on your show, then we're doing a promotion for $297 for both of those programs. And that's available for the next couple of weeks if anyone wants to do that.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much. So everybody, get on Natasha's website, sign up for Video Confidence Secrets, and check out these programs. They're such high value. I can't tell you how grateful I am that we got to have you today here and sharing so much wisdom. Thank you so much, Natasha, for being our guest today, and really just the huge, huge value that you bring to us and are in the world.
Oh, thank you, Christine. It's a pleasure. And, if I can shine my light and share my story to inspire others, then I've done my job.
Amen. You've done it in spades. Thank you so much. And thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic day.